Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a action figure review. A little bit of a disclaimer, it's been a while since I've done a action figure review on the channel, so if I'm a bit rusty, that's why. Even though that seems to be the intro to all of these action figure reviews these days. I don't really do these sorts of reviews very often, or at least back to back these days anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly due to the fact that there's not many Doctor Who figures anymore, and I am predominantly a Doctor Who channel and/or massive, obsessive Doctor Who fan, if you can't already tell, and that. But as of late, I have been getting into some other stuff like Rick and Morty, and that, and they've got some action figures, so of course I was going to pick up those. So yeah, I mean, my last review, I think, on the channel was either, it might have been Rick, and that, from this wave of action figures, and also now including Rick, or Morty, Rick and Morty, and then Mr. Meeseeks, including them three now, or Mr. Meeseeks into the range. I only need two more. I only need Bird Person and Mr. Poopy Butthole, and then I can build the sixth character, which is Snowball, in the mech suit. So I've got one of his feet, and that, surprisingly enough, it's pretty detailed, heavily detailed, and pretty cool as well. So yeah, that's cool. That's one of the accessories. Another accessory is the gun, seen in the latter end of the episode, where obviously one of the Meeseeks takes a woman hostage and is pointing a gun at her. Or no, he might actually be pointing a gun at Jerry and that, but then I think there's one that pulls a knife on that woman actually. So gun though, and then also the infamous golf club as well, because obviously Jerry wants to take, I think it's one strike off of his swing or something. I don't know. Surprisingly enough, I don't watch golf, so I don't know the terminology. It's very nicely detailed and whatnot. Just your basic box standard golf club, I guess, in terms of accessories. Where this figure shines is in the face sculpt and or detail. Like, that fucking face is creepy. Those balls. But yeah, that sinister smile. Also the chin. It's kind of funny to me that it's sculpted on the actual, like, person of it. Then it's just two little button eyes, as well as some what look like Sharpie drawn things. They're not like actually sculpted above the actual thing. And then you've got just like this weird little sprout of like what looks like to me like either plasticine or just like little carrots and that. And then the rest of the figure's just blue, just light baby blue and that, which is fine considering that obviously that's indicative of a Mr. Meeseeks sort of body. A close Doctor Who comparison for those of you who are watching who haven't seen the show but for some weird reason are still watching this review, and that the Doctor Who comparison, or the Doctor Who closest thing to a Mr. Meeseeks in Doctor Who would be an Ood, but the difference is these are slaves, but when they've done the one thing that you asked of them, they'll just disappear and die. Although saying that with the Ood it's like the opposite way around almost. It's like if they don't have a task to do or some sort of purpose, then they'll like go into the darkness and or like shiver into the darkness and or corner of a room until they have a task to do, or just just like wander about the place. Like, so at that point, that sort of creature might as well just kill themselves or just disappear from existence, because existence is pain for a Meeseeks. Articulation wise, it's your box standard sort of articulation. 360 head, 360 head and whatnot. Arms, hands do full 360. Knee joints and whatnot. I think the feet can move as well. I want to say they can move, and that it's sort of basic articulation. you know, not too extravagant or anything. It's actually a ball joint there, so it can go side to side like that, I think, and that, which is fairly advanced, presumably, for an action figure of sorts. Yeah, it's just a box standard sort of action figure. It's not too challenging on the part of the people who've made it, and that. But then again, the character was quite box standard and simple to do as an action figure, I presume, and that. But yeah, I think it's a very good representation of the character. It's got some very nice accessories with the golf club and the gun, as well as the foot, one of the feet for the mech snowball in a mech suit. I would give this action figure a 6 out of 10. It's sort of just above average. If you're a big fan of Mr. Meeseeks from Rick and Morty, then it's obviously a must-have. Otherwise, you might want to pass up on this one. It depends on how much you're paying for it, and that, because at HMV, for some weird reason, the Rick and Morty action figures are $16.99, whereas other places they're going as cheap as $11.99 or $12.99, and that, you know, so I'd recommend going to other places than HMV personally. But yeah, a 6 out of 10 from me for Mr. Meeseeks from Rick and Morty. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.